Howdy my peeps and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a Copic drawing, but before we get into that I would like to give a shout out to Mars Plays, who's the comment of the week. Thank you so much for your comment. I really like reading both comments, so if you would like to be the comment of the week, all you gotta do is comment. Also, I'm going to highlight another comment from my patron. Oh my goodness, Turtle Bun Buns. She said, I really enjoy your traditional art, and that was so sweet. So I decided to do a traditional drawing this week. This drawing is basically a redraw of this other drawing right here. I don't have it in front of me right now, so I can't remember when I drew it, but it was a while ago. And it's just one of those drawings that even when I drew it, I just didn't really like it. I like the colors, okay, but it's just, it's a little special. Specifically, Lence's face. Lence, the guy. I didn't really like the way I drew his face then, and I don't like it now. And a little, what's that? Oh, that was Sunday. Was it Sunday? No, I'm confused. I don't know when it happened. At some point in time, I was cleaning my bookshelf and organizing and stuff, and I came across my sketchbooks, and I knew it was time to let a couple go, and I did. And while I was there, sitting there, going through my stuff, I was flipping through my sketchbooks to see which ones I had a strong emotional connection to. And the sketchbook that this drawing was in, the original drawing was in, I think I did keep it, so I guess I had a strong emotional connection to it. But what was I going with that? I can't even remember. Anyway, I did end up throwing a couple of sketchbooks away that I just looked at them and it was just like, I feel nothing for you. I'm sorry. And I threw them away. But anyway, the original drawing was done with, I think, a hodgepodge of alcohol-based markers. And if I'm not mistaken, it was also the first, well, maybe not the first, well, the first hardbound, hardcover sketchbook I'd filled, I think, which was kind of cool. And it's one of those sketchbooks where I kind of like it because it has a lot of colorful drawings in it, and not a lot of, it's not anything like, I can't speak, oh my gosh. It's nothing like my current sketchbooks. Like, if you've seen any of my sketchbook tours, it's not like that, where I have the pages filled with sketches and it's just kind of messy and there's not a lot of color. My older sketchbooks weren't like that. They were pretty colorful and I would do finished drawings in them. But I don't really do that anymore. I use my sketchbooks for sketching because it's got sketch in the name. Anyway, I was actually originally going to do this drawing in my current sketchbook because the paper in the sketchbook is pretty thin, so I can't really do the 2-page spread like I did with my last sketchbook because you can literally see through the paper. But it's okay with, like, the first page of my sketchbook I did an alcohol-based drawing and that worked okay, so I was going to do this in there as well. But the line art took a while to complete. It took an hour and 30 minutes approximately to complete, and I just didn't feel like tracing it again onto a new sheet of paper. Like, I didn't feel like printing it because, like, when I'm transferring drawings from the computer to something like a sketchbook or even Bristol, like, if I'm not going to use the printer ink, which I did for this drawing because it works well with Copics, but, like, if I wasn't going to do that, I would print the drawing out, put my preferred paper on top, trace it with a light pad, and then do the line art. And so that's basically having to trace the drawing 2 more times after having already done the line art. And since I'd already spent an hour and 30 minutes on it, I figured I might as well use it. And I'm glad I did. The only thing that I did notice was that because I did do it on the computer, my digital program, you know, I'm not really thinking about how, like I wasn't thinking about how colors, like the marker colors would look with the line art. So the line art is a tad bit too light in some areas, but I think it ended up working out okay. So I don't mind it as much. The fact that you can't really see the line art in some places, I think it's okay. Also, another thing with taking something from a computer and then moving it to a regular sheet of paper, regular size sheet of paper, is that on the computer I'm zooming in and out constantly, so I don't really think about how small things would look in person at their true size, so to speak. So when I was coloring their faces particularly, I was like, there's not really room for error here because it's so small. But once again, it kind of worked out in the end, and I like how small their faces are because I feel like, I don't know, I just really like their faces. I think that's my favorite part of the drawing. Also, Myrah's jeans, she's the other character. I like her jeans a lot. I don't really color jeans like that ever, but I did this time and it worked out great. And it's like one of my favorite things of the drawing. And I tried to do the same thing with his pants, but it didn't work as well because my marker was dry as all get out. My marker, my poor marker. It's like a gray marker, and it was going to be the color that I was going to use to blend the black out. And I've known that it has been kind of dry for years, and I just have not gone and I haven't purchased an ink refill for it yet. So I tried to kind of revive it a little bit with some colorless blender, which you actually shouldn't do because you dilute the color, and I did dilute the color a lot. But I was able to at least salvage his pants. The pants at least look decent. And actually, because the color was a little bit bleached, diluted, I guess, it did bleach the color that I already put down a little bit, but it kind of gave it a nice texture. It gave it like a almost fabric-y like texture, if that makes any sense. I don't think you can really pick up on it in the video, but in person you can kind of see some texture, and I think it adds something nice to the drawing. So I'm glad that it all worked out in the end, which I guess is just, if I had to come up with like a slogan or a sentence or something to describe this drawing, it would be, it all worked out in the end, because there were a few challenges along the way, but it all worked out in the end. Another thing that I wanted to do was kind of mute the color palette a little bit, because as you saw in the original drawing, it was pretty colorful, and I didn't want it to be as colorful, so I kind of toned that down a little bit, and I'm glad I did, because the colors look nicer, in my opinion. Anyway, here's how the drawing turned out. Like I said, I really like it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to support me and my art, you can head over to Patreon, where you can get things like early access to videos, a monthly wallpaper, which I think by the time you see this on YouTube, it's already up, the one for October, and there's also one for September you can see if you would like. And speaking of Patreon, oh my goodness, shout out to my patron, Turtle Bun Bun. So I gave a shout out to earlier, but she's my friend, so extra shout out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and please enjoy the rest of your day, my peeps.